If you can answer this simple SAT question in under 2 minutes, then you have serious potential of getting a high score. Pause the screen and try to answer it now. So what you just did is what they call the dual texts, the dreaded dual text, and these are super advanced questions that only come on the difficult module. If you get these right, you can bump up your score a lot. Now, there are basically three things that can happen here. They're going to give you two texts, and you have to answer how one author would respond to the other author. How will text 1 respond to text 2? Or how would text 2 respond to text 1? And the answer is going to be one of three things. Either the text is going to agree with the other text, it's going to disagree with the other text, or it's going to do a mixture of both. It's going to agree on one thing, but maybe disagree on another, like the instance that we just practiced. So let's take a look at the question that you tried. Based on the text, how would the author of text 2 most likely respond to the underlined claim in text 1? They're making it easy for us because they're giving us an underlined claim. Focus on that. Let's take a look at text 1 first. In 1954, George, I don't know what, choreographed a production of The Nutcracker, a ballet by Tchaikovsky. I think I'm pronouncing that Russian name right. It has since become a tradition for hundreds of dance companies in North America to stage The Nutcracker each year. But the show is stuck in the past, with an old-fashioned story and references, so it should no longer be produced. That's a strong statement. Scratch The Nutcracker, it's too old. Ballet needs to create new traditions if it wants to stay relevant to contemporary audiences. So, how would text 2 respond to this? Let's just focus on this underlined claim, which states that the Nutcracker needs to go away. It's too old, it's outdated, bring something else in. Text 2. The Nutcracker is outdated, but it should be kept because it's a holiday favorite and provides substantial income for some dance companies. So, basically, it's outdated, but it should be kept. So he agrees it's outdated, but he disagrees that it should be scratched totally. So he's kind of agreeing and disagreeing. Because it's a holiday favorite and provides blah, 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 although it can be behind the times, there are creative ways to update the show. Aha! For example, Debbie Allen successfully modernized the story. Her show Hot Chocolate Nutcracker combines ballet, tap, hip-hop, and other styles, and it had been gaining in popularity since it opened in 2009. So what's he saying to this? Yeah, you're right, it's outdated, but we shouldn't scrap it completely because it can be updated to get with the times and it's still good fundamentally. So he doesn't totally disagree. Now, let's take a look at our answer options. A. Text 2 would question the idea that the story of the Nutcracker is stuck in the past, and by rejecting the suggestion that contemporary audiences would enjoy an updated version, no. He said it's behind the times. B. By agreeing that contemporary audiences have largely stopped going to see performances of the Nutcracker because it's so old-fashioned. No, in fact, they gave a detail right here of audiences going to see the Nutcracker, an updated version. C. By pointing out that most dance companies could increase their incomes by offering modernized versions of the Nutcracker. Now that looks pretty good. He said right here, it's a holiday favorite and provides substantial income for some dance companies. So maybe if they offered modernized versions or if they update the show, they can bring in that income. That looks like a pretty good answer to me. How about D? By suggesting that dance companies should consider offering revised versions of the Nutcracker instead of completely rejecting the show. Yeah. So not only is this hard because it's a ton of text to read and it can get confusing, but they also gave two correct answers. So the SAT is messing with you here. They don't want you to get this one right. This is the type of question that if you get it right with the timer going, you basically break the test, you beat the test, you prove you're better than the average test taker. So which one is the answer? There are two correct answers. And how do you know which one to choose? Well, basically it said most likely respond to the underlined claim. So right here, but the show is stuck in the past with an old-fashioned story and references, it should no longer be produced. That doesn't mention the income. So although he does mention income in text 2, remember you're only responding to the underlined portion in this particular instance. So it's so important to read each question. So answer D is actually correct. Hey, are you going to take the SAT? Why not get an edge? You're competing against everyone else who's taking the test. And they are studying, they are preparing. And guess what? If you're not getting the score you want, it's not because you're not smart enough to get a high score. It's because you don't know the specific strategies for this specific test. If you really want to get an edge and get that higher score to get into the university of your dreams, come check me out on Fiverr. Doc English. I'm offering a 12-lesson course that will prepare you for this test, and you will have a huge advantage. Check it out.